This video is brought to you by...
Hey, girl, come support, man. Come on now.
Hey, man, big love in the city, man. Stop the trap on the
I'm
boys,
gonna
man.
support my brother, man, my black brother. The price is right. Treat yourself, don't beat yourself.
Exactly.
Beat your feet down the street and get one of these cool green headbands. Do you understand what I'm saying, my man? Deuces, holla back, cool green dude.
Exactly. Man, let them know, man, what you love about that cool green.
If you're not cooling and getting the green, then you gotta get out the way. You know what it is.
Exactly, man.
You know
Exactly, man. I couldn't have said it no better. What is going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony 2Times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Before I start, be sure to smash that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end and hear the full story. Let's get right into it. In certain cases, where individuals, after running into trouble with the law for years, it creates a narrative of being a career criminal. A lot of people have faith in the justice system, but do they always get it right? Some cases have lack of evidence, witnesses saying they were told what to say, or if it's a case where police gets hurt, it's all bets off, as the state will want a conviction no matter what. And on this episode of the Baltimore Way, we will be discussing a man named Greg Thomas, and at the time, how he got the label of public enemy number one. According to sources, Greg, who in the early 2000s received a 30-year prison sentence for allegedly taking the life of a 17-year-old boy. He was convicted of second-degree murder and sent to the Patuxent Institute to serve time, in which he was released after serving a little over 10 years. But just 15 months after being released, Greg's name will pop back up on BPD's radar. Let's discuss some alleged events. Allegedly, Greg's brother and another man was pulled over on the highway, 95 to be exact. When police asked where they was coming from, they said Atlantic City. Police accused the men of having drugs in the car, and somehow they knew exactly where to look. In a stash box that was specially made and only opened a certain way. Finding almost 10 pounds of coke, the feds will pick up the case, charging them with drug trafficking and conspiracy. But Greg's brother will be bailed out soon. As we all know, the feds follow every loophole, wondering how did Greg's family get the money to pay the high bail so fast, since his mother didn't have it and Greg just came home from prison. Even trying to link Greg as the leader of the operation. With feds breathing down the family's necks, fast forward. One night on Bel Air Road and North Avenue, when off-duty police sergeant Keith McNeil was running errands, he ended up at Heads Automotives to get his brakes fixed on his truck. The sergeant at the time was wearing plain clothes. A blue Lincoln, which later would be a big discussion in the case, was allegedly spotted by witnesses on the CCTV circling the block by the automotive shop, in which the owner had closed up for the night, waiting for Keith to pay for the work he had done. While going to get the cash, allegedly, Sergeant Keith spotted a man lurking around the shop with a mask on. Keith called the shop owner to let him know before stopping his truck, questioning the suspect, before stating he was a police officer. During the conversation, the man opened fire on the sergeant's truck, striking him in the vehicle multiple times. A witness driving by called BPD and followed the suspect to a blue Lincoln, in which had Maryland farm tags. The shop owner allegedly followed the suspect and saw his face as he took off his mask and ID'd him as Greg, but he got away. The officer was in critical condition, but would survive. Allegedly that same night, in March 2014, a man was picking up his groceries at Aldi's on Pulaski Highway when an old friend pulled over and asked him if he needed help or did he need a ride. It was allegedly Greg, driving a blue Lincoln with Maryland tags. He told the man he can hold his whip and just drop it off at his mother's house. When he was finished, shortly after, Greg gave the man the keys, the man drove off and allegedly was stopped by BPD, stating the vehicle was used in the shooting with witnesses and surveillance. Plus the man he gave the whip to, all fingers were pointing at Greg, and he was labeled public enemy number one at the time, but he wasn't nowhere to be found. News reporters wanted to talk to his family, who said he was innocent. But once BPD started raiding his family's homes in East and West Baltimore, Greg would turn himself in, but maintain his innocence. BPD and prosecutors painted a picture that Greg was mad about his brother's arrest with the bricks, and because the shop and his brother was the only one that knew about the stash spot, someone must have told. They alleged Greg went to Higgs Automotives to hit the owner, but hit the sergeant in mistaken identity. But the case was circumstantial and had over 3 mistrials due to witness statements changing. Even the man who alleged Greg gave him the whip at the Aldis, his story changed, but he would eventually be found guilty on attempted murder. And Greg Thomas was given the max, life plus 35 years in prison. Sergeant Keith eventually pulled through. Now being that Greg was a convicted hitter already and his family being under investigation, could that have made the courts accept what the witnesses were saying, even without a lot of evidence? Or do y'all believe Greg was the shooter? Let me know in the comments. More of this story, once you have that X on your back as a felon, a shooter, a robber, that becomes your MO. So it's easy for them people to say it sounds like something you would do. Only Greg and the Most High knows if he's guilty or not. But for everybody out there listening, keep your nose clean and don't be known for nothing. That way you won't fit no description or no profiles. But hey, that's the Baltimore way. Man, it's a crazy story. All right, you know, I got my perspective on it. I kind of feel like I know exactly what took place. I know how they operate. I know, you know, how certain events go on. But the thing is, which was crazy about this case, a lot of the witnesses who alleged they seen Greg, they changed their story. Even the man, his homie who he said gave him the car, he even changed his story. And they were saying, why would he hit the sergeant? Because the sergeant wasn't the one on his brother's case. He wasn't the one on his previous case. Like, they ain't had no connection. So I don't know if they alleging that when the person was outside of the shop, whatever the words was that was exchanged between the officer and the person, they alleging that's what led to the shots. But then they trying to say Greg planned it all, you feel me? He went to do the hit itself because he was mad at the person at the automotive shop. But if these the people you've been dealing with at the automotive shop, of course you gonna know how the man look. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think, you feel me? I'm glad the sergeant pulled through, you know what I mean? I'm glad he survived or whatever. But y'all let me know in the comments how y'all feel about this, man. You feel me? Like I say, only him and the Most High know if he innocent. But 3 mistrials, that's a lot. That says something. But be sure to smash that like button. I appreciate you if you made it to the end, fam. This your boy Tony 2 Times Love. I'm out.